To part 2 of this crash course where you're learning how to build a voice AI agent using n8n and vibe coding techniques using Cursor and Claude Code. In this section, I'm going to cover a whole lot of concepts around vibe coding. Initially, we will start building a tic-tac-toe game using both Cursor and Taskmaster in combination of the two, and also Claude Code, and compare both settings. But for the rest of the course, the web application that we're going to build with all the Kanban features and everything that we have taught about in the initial lectures, that will be built using Claude Code. So let me start from the beginning. What is vibe coding? Andrej Karpathy, the former co-founder of OpenAI, one of the great scientists, especially in AI, goes and tweets something that will become really a famous tweet. And he says, I call a new way of coding called vibe coding. You go by vibes and embrace exponentials. He is using Cursor Composer with Sonnet, the model name from Anthropic's Claude LLM. And then he is using a dictation tool called Whisper or Super Whisper. It's basically a software that allows you to talk to microphone, and he barely touches the keyboard and he writes code. And he says it's mostly working. I keep pressing on this accept button, and for a throwaway project, for a kind of like for a weekend long project, it's good enough. But to be honest, I personally I've been doing it for a very long time, since ChatGPT started um, being there, and I mainly copy pasted stuff, and if it worked, then I checked it out. With that in mind, I went there and I created a very detailed crash course about vibe coding a couple of months ago. You can find it from this playlist here, Vibe Coding 101 Crash Course, which includes a bunch of different topics that you can see it here. It covers Cursor, Next.js, um, Firebase, Git and GitHub, and terminal commands. And we are building full-fledged web application called VibeStage, which later on becomes this VibeStage 2.0, this software that is basically projecting all of this information and the list of cameras in here, and it has a dual view where you can see multiple cameras at the same time, which also was a part of the um, um, when was it, the last one that we had, a course we had, full day. It must be one of these ones, this one. So literally the entire day of this in-person experience was done with this vibe coded application that is taking care of streams, live camera setup, and so on. And also, additionally, it has like this little feature of sending emojis on the top, like this one, like sending emojis on the top of the screen that I'm currently using. And this is entirely a vibe coded software. It's called VibeStage. You can follow it on the. Let me quickly have a demo of what is VibeStage. So VibeStage is a remote controller like this. I share it with my workshop participants whenever they go on the. So something like that. Maybe this camera is better. So what is VibeStage? It's just like a remote controller like this. Whatever they press on the screen, I see it on my screen. And the confetti animation and the star animation have a little bit different, but the others look like that. And also people can ask questions here. Whatever they type, they press on ask question, And then I see this hand emoji, and then I can go here, and then by pressing Command Shift E, I can see the questions in here, and then I can answer them one by one and then go away from that. So why did I show you this Vibe Stage 2.0? This is not exactly the software that I built as a part of this crash course, but it is the very, very beginning of it's Vibe Stage 1.0 that I built throughout this crash course with those 38 lectures. The reason I showed you this quick demo is that when I swipe in another screen, this video feed goes into the other screen. And usually every single one of these ones is a virtual environment in macOS. And I didn't know about it until I started building this, or I needed this feature. Or for example, if I press Command Shift T, I can write things here. So I write something here, I write something else here, and they also go with me as I go wherever. I'm currently using another software for these arrows. It's called Demo Pro. This software, but also we have a feature of writing arrows with, I forgot the exact key, or maybe in this version I don't have it, drawing arrows with Vibe Stage as well. So the reason I'm showing all of this is to show you what can be built with Vibe coding. Really complex software. This is built with C++ and Electron.js. I'm a JavaScript developer. I've been building JavaScript applications for 17 years in a row. But for this particular software, I have not written a single line of TypeScript in Electron.js or a single line of C++, which I have never had any experience in the first place. So let's quickly have a look at this entire setup, and I'll show you what can be done with TypeScript and C++ with these native things. So it's called Vibe Stage. I'll quickly show you Vibe Stage, and then we'll see the rest of them. And here you can see there is like this native folder. Inside the native folder, there's like all of these C++ code sitting in there. And I've never written C++ code in my entire life. And I used entirely Electron.js for the UI and application layer and so on. And then the rest of them is basically this native layer that's taking care of all of that. And there's Firebase integration and so on that's basically bringing all of these emojis on the top of this. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that with vibe coding, if you have the right tools set in place, you can build as much of a complex application as you can think. It's just about the time that these big companies like Microsoft and their products, especially Copilot and VS Code, bring proper tooling that will take care of vibe coding in a very professional and an enterprise way. It's just about timing that vibe coding will become the new norm of building software. Senior software engineers like myself will be building software with vibe coding because it doesn't make any sense if we are not vibe coding, because it makes you a lot more faster. We will learn a lot of concepts during this vibe coding section of this crash course, and each time we hit one of those concepts, I will quickly go on the whiteboard and explain it. But with that, let's start our tic-tac-toe game, and build it both with Cursor and with Claude Code. See you in the next video.